All right, welcome back to another session of Awareness. I'm your host, Taylor Martin, and I'm here with Raquel Moore. And we're learning more. So there's a lot of stuff going on as we're in, we like to call it 21st century, right? Anyway, there's the level of spirituality that's coming out in various practices through it, and various terms are thrown around. And I know that one that comes up a lot is that oftentimes I find that people aren't really aware that they have both a physical body and a spiritual body. And as we look at the spiritual body, a lot of people aren't aware of their chakras. So I wanted to talk a little bit about both bodies that every single human being on this planet has. And these chakras that are in the body, what do they look like? What do they do? So let's just kind of, I know it's a very broad topic, and we don't need to get into the nitty-gritty, but I guess just give us a basic overview of our physical body, our spiritual body, and how these chakras function in our system.
Okay. Well, first I want to highlight a little bit in all, we'll say, spiritual texts, whether it's the Bible, the Gita, the Torah, all ancient spiritual texts or religions talk about both the physical and the spiritual body. So this isn't really a new thing. It's just that most people don't actually read the spiritual texts or understand them. But this isn't something new. There's the physical body and the immortal body, the one that goes on through times and different religions, and you get, we'll call it another genetic body or meat sack as you go along through this.
I like to call it a skin suit.
Yeah, skin, you like the skin suit word. So what happens is, like even doctors have noticed, once the spirit leaves the body just falls over. You need the spiritual body or the energy body to animate this physical body.
Sure.
Otherwise it doesn't work. So you might wonder, okay, well, what makes up the spiritual body? Well, these chakras that are here, they're energy centers, and they kind of look like circular discs. Some people, like in Hindu, the word chakra is from Hindi or Hindu or Sanskrit. It's actually all Sanskrit. That's like the oldest one that goes back. And even the ancient Egyptians talked about, the anima, the spiritual body, that this physical body won't even stand up. So anyway, they're energy centers. Each chakra runs a different location and stores different information, kind of like an energy computer system.
Okay.
So when I go through that and look at that, I have to make sure the chakras are moving, because most people's are frozen or they're dark. They don't have pretty colors in them. The pretty colors are all your positive energy and the things that keep everything moving, like your light being, your light body. And what happens is there's programming in there and symbols and machines and entities that get put in there that actually control the spiritual body, which will only allow the physical body to do certain things. So by learning the tools, you can learn how to deprogram the chakras and the spiritual body, which will then affect the physical body. So let's say you can't accomplish something, or you keep doing things you don't want to be doing, like cycles, or you have a disease. That means one of the chakras is not operating properly. It's stuck. There's junk stuck. There's all kinds of weird things that get stuck in the spiritual body. Anyway, by learning the tools, by learning how to run your earth and cosmic energy, and tools for protection, tools to diffuse energies, tools to form the spiritual body, which I go through in all my live recorded classes that are in spiritual mechanics. It explains to you why it works, how to do it. It's just like in most religious texts, they're giving you philosophy or rules, but they're not telling you how it works,
Right.
how to do it, how to get through it. It's like, I'm stuck here. What is me believing anything going
Right.
to do? Because they're not giving you. This is like a spiritual workout. It's like you go to the gym and you work this stuff out, and then things change.
Right.
That's
I mean, it's like
that's what
if
happens.
I'm an architect, I mean, I can stare at the blueprints all day long, but the building's not going to go up unless I have the tools,
right.
right?
To build it, and also to understand. If you don't understand why you're doing something, it's this very far off concept. It's like when I was in Catholic school and we had to read the Bible. Believe it or not, I actually understood a lot of it, but most people didn't. You know, it was like them reading Shakespeare. They're just like, I don't get this.
Right.
Or you read Buddhist texts, and it's all written very poetically. It's all like most religious prophets wrote everything down in a very poetic sense, or almost to hide it from the general public. When you learn the tools, it actually tells you why the physical body and the spiritual body work, how they work, and then how you can get them to work together. Because a lot of times the programming in the spiritual body is what you want to do as a soul personality. And then the programming in the physical body is what your family wanted for you.
Right.
And that may not be what makes you happy.
Right. You're at a constant disarray.
Yeah, you're in a fight
With
with
yourself.
this. Yeah. So you have to clean out the stuff that's in between this, and then make your decision of what you want to do and what you want to create, and be in control of this physical body.
Absolutely. And I can't tell you, in fact, I was just in a situation the other week where, you know, it was a mother and a well-grown son that was there, and how she was demanding from him on when he was going to have kids, when he was going to get married, and how it was, I mean, it was done in a very aggressive way, we'll just say. And I could physically, visibly see how this was tearing his soul from his physical body, and how he still had that little piece in them that had to accept his mother and do what his mother wanted him to do. It was really a quite fascinating experience to watch it, you know, from an outside level, and to see that. So.
Yeah, because maybe that's not why he came back and took this body. He may have a purpose or some creative endeavor, and a lot of times when people end up, we'll say, doing the programming on this plane of getting married and having a conceptual, you know, having a family and all that, you only have so much energy, and he may not have enough money and energy to do both. So what's he do? Pay attention to the body or pay attention to the spirit? And I'm just going to let you know, when you die, all you're left with is your spirit. The body just decays off. So you're going to be stuck with, wow, I didn't do what I came back here to do, and I got to come and do it
That's
again.
right, yeah, I got to come
Because
and do it over again.
Mommy wanted me to
Right.
get married and have 7 kids.
Right, and I find that one of the most common ways of control is that it does stem from a family line, and what a family line wants you to do, whether it's, you know, whether they want you to be a doctor or a lawyer, or again, it's about getting to a certain age and having a house and having children and getting married, and it's not your purpose, so to say. I mean, obviously, yes, this is a breeding planet, but at the end of the day, it truly is about fulfilling your soul purpose. And when something doesn't feel right, it's about having the ability to stand up and to seek inside of yourself, learn the tools, get rid of the stuff that's in your space,
Make yourself happy.
make yourself happy. Because at the end of the day, that's what matters. So thanks again for joining us for another session of Awareness, and we'll see you soon.